Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with your hosts here, Drew Billy, Trevor Dinsmore, Nate Stice. How we doing, fellas?
Doing great, man. Glad to be back.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Trevor, you
little
got some...
little no yeah a little spotty with the Steelers business. We'll get into that, but once again the football gods have blessed yours truly and the two that are here with me. Cowboys lost to the Bills in convincing fashion, no less. See what happens when they go on the road and they face a running team. Who knew the Bills were a running team too? Jesus. James Cook, what, they have 170, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen ran in for a touchdown. I tell you, I did not have the Bills winning this game with Josh Allen under 100 passing yards. I can tell you that much.
Right.
I can tell you that much. But how about them Cowboys, man? As always, it never ceases to amaze me. Yes, I know I'm ripping off Stephen A. a little bit here, courtesy to him. But, yeah. It put me in a better mood. I'm glad these Cowboys games keep getting the late slot. That way, there's just a little chance that things get redeemed. Of course, the Steelers game is on Saturday. Bills Cowboys game on Sunday. Put me in a little bit better mood for this episode. So, hence the garb and all this business. I'm going to take this flannel off now. It's a little bit hot in my apartment. I like to keep it at a nice 72 degrees in my apartment. So I'm going to take all this off.
Very good. But a lot of news coming out of the Pittsburgh area, boys, with the Steelers dropping another one to the Indianapolis Colts, and then DeMonte, I'm going to fuck KZ getting suspended for the rest of the season. A lot of strong opinions coming here. I'm going to just say it right now. You better expect some swearing coming out of my mouth. But boys, what do we feel here? What's our opinions? Who wants to go first on this?
Nate, I'll let you go first while I struggle to get this thing off.
All right. Well, in terms of the KZ thing, sure, I understand the hit. Was not the most perfect hit in the world, but I just think it's really tough to be a defender these days in the National Football League. It's just a very hard task to be out there and try to find a way to get these guys on the ground, whether it's a pass rusher, whether it's someone in the secondary, or anybody in between. I think it's just a really difficult ask. Do I think KZ's hit was perfect? No, I don't. But, I understand he's a multiple person defender of the rule, and, that's why he got suspended. But I just find it very difficult for these guys to get people on the ground these days. It's really difficult to do it without getting a flag. So it's unfortunate. And, we're going to be the next call to be in the Steelers secondary. I think that they're that thin back there. So I'm expecting a text any day now to start joining the Steelers secondary because they're that thin, and I don't know who else they have to call. So we're next up. We're a little rusty, but I think we got the job done. We're going to get the job done if they come knocking. In terms of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I've been saying it on the show for months. The way they're winning is unsustainable. It is horrible football. I don't care if you won 7 games out of 11 to start the year. It was unsustainable. I said, I don't know how long they can keep doing this. Doesn't win. It's not going to win. You outgain your opponent in one of the 11 games at that point. They've been outgained every other game except for that one still. So it's just not good enough. And they're out of the playoff picture, and I think they're done, unfortunately. And they just never cleaned it up. And for weeks we blamed it on Matt Canada. Actually, for a few years we blamed it on Matt.
Right.
And sure, this individual does, Matt Canada deserves part of the blame. But the true blame that I think true people that understood football knew, it was surely Matt Canada's play calling and schematics. But it's bigger than that. It's the line is not good enough. It is the schematics aren't good enough. It's we have people at positions that are not good enough. And it's all coming and rearing its ugly head all at one time now. So it's unfortunate that, we kind of try to Band-Aid this sort of function for, 2-3 years following Ben Roethlisberger's tenure. But unfortunately, I think for us and the New England Patriots, it may be time to rip the Band-Aid and think about a rebuild. And I don't know if that means departing with head coaches. They might, we both might not. We don't know. There's rumors circulating about both. But certainly I think that the roster warrants some changes for sure. I think it's a roster and a culture issue for us in the New England Patriots that for, the better part of 25 years, they didn't lose very many football games. So it's very, very difficult to be a Steelers fan right now. This is the worst I've ever felt about being a Steeler fan. It's pretty weird. I don't really know how to take it, but unfortunately, I'm not coming on here to pat myself on the back and say, I've told you so, but I've seen it. I've seen the writing on the wall, whether it's the talent of the roster, the schematics, the cap situation being too much on defense, not enough money spent on offense in an offensive league. It's just all coming to light right now. So I don't even I haven't looked forward to watching them play since probably like 2020. Like we kind of know what we're getting ourselves into. It's ugly football. It's not Steeler football, and I'm looking forward to the day when it changes back to being an exciting product. Certainly they're going to lose their games. I always understood that, but this is just not the Steeler way right now, unfortunately. So it's tough to swallow with a team that you hardly ever remember them losing games, let alone losing in the way that they're losing now. So I know there's no losing seasons, and sure, we'll keep saying that, blah blah blah. But if we're trying for non-losing seasons, then what are we trying for here? This is like the equivalent of like Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice. We're talking about non-losing seasons. Like that's where we're at. Not a Super Bowl, non-losing seasons. So that's all I have to say. It's ugly, man.
Nate, they're all fair points. I can't wait to see what Trevor has to say. But
no, you're gonna get me fired up. Referencing Allen Iverson over there, you're gonna get me going more so than I was already planning on getting going. But real quick before I forget to mention this, I appreciate the soul patch right down here, Billy. That's very nice. Looks
the
nice.
mustache. We got the
Get rid of this. Got rid of this action. I appreciate the soul patch there. But so I'm going to break this DeMonte KZ thing down between three different prongs here, other than DeMonte KZ himself. I'm going to talk about the rule and how it's enforced in terms of forcible contact, head or neck area. And I'm going to talk about principle. And then I'm going to talk about a guy by the name of Gardner Minshew and maybe some things that a certain GOAT said about this particular person. So the rule and how it's enforced. Forcible contact to the head or neck area, grounds for ejection. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. Should he have been ejected? Yes. Should he have been fined? Talk about DeMonte KZ. Yes. It was an ugly hit. It was a brutal hit. It was an unfortunate hit in a very fast-moving game. But that's just how things lie. And the defender, unfortunately, is always going to get blamed. Now, the principle of the suspension. KZ suspended 3 games, done dusted, right? Not even a question about it from the NFL. No hesitation. Brought the hammer down. 3 games without pay. You're done for the season. Now, why is it that he gets 3 games right away, done dusted, but we struggle to give somebody that allegedly did some things with some masseuses, with allegedly 24 masseuses, we struggle to give him an 11-game suspension, and we struggle to give somebody that literally hits someone else over the head with his own helmet forcibly, we struggle to give him a 6-game suspension. But DeMonte KZ, done dusted. In a live action play during the game. Not for the off the field stuff, not for after the play stuff, for during the play when things are moving 100 miles an hour both ways. no hesitation whatsoever. I don't understand that. I've never understood the way the NFL handles these sorts of situations. It's very inconsistent, in my opinion, but many others share that as well. And I want to talk about a third thing. And I'll actually preface this with something, again, TB12, Tom Brady, chimed in on this situation. And as part of a statement that he put out there, he said to put the blame on the defensive player all the time is just flat out wrong.
Right.
Which makes sense. It's a 22-person game on the field at any time. And those 22 people are held accountable on every single play for what happens every play.
Right.
And in this particular play, with the Devontae KZ play, with him hitting Michael Pittman, which I will say this too, thank Christ Michael Pittman was able to walk off the field under his own power. I understand he's in concussion protocol, but he didn't stay down on the field for too long and he was able to walk off the field. Very happy for his health.
Definitely.
But at the same time, Gardner Minshew cannot put him in a position to where he's diving for the ball and a defender is coming at him head on.
Yep.
There's got to be some accountability both ways here. I don't know how you do that. And I understand, obviously, rules tend to lean toward the offense and punishments tend to lead toward the defensive players.
Yep.
But to me, and I know I put this out a little more assertively in some group chats and on Instagram before, at what point does this become flag football and we can't hit anybody?
Yeah.
Why do people watch football? A lot of people watch. I know I watch football because of physical contact. I love the physicality. I love the grit that's shown.
Yes.
I love the struggle that goes back and forth between each and every one of those players that's on that field on any given play. I'll watch it every single Sunday. I don't care how bad the Steelers are. I love football. I love football for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point do we just call it a day and call it flag football? I mean, they're talking about banning the hip drop tackle. I didn't even know the term hip drop tackle until about 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
And now I understand, yes, this was a rough play. This was a rough play. But I will say this too, at least it wasn't direct helmet to helmet and both players could potentially be very severely injured. It was shoulder to helmet. Thankfully, nothing beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point are we insulting the integrity of the game and are we taking away too much of the physicality? As I've said on this program before, if you go back to 2016, I think we were in a perfect spot with the rules and with everything going on in the NFL in terms of the quality of play. If you go back to 2016 football, which I will say this too, that's the last time the Steelers won a playoff game. Just a side note there. And trust me, that's not the only reason why I want to go back there. But you go back to 2016 football with the level of play, with the product that was being put on the field every single week. It was like that scene from The Boys. It was perfect, right? It was perfect, down to the minute details. And now we're overcorrecting it.
Right.
That's all I have to say about that. As far as the Steelers go, who do we got left here? We got the Bengals left. We got the Ratbirds one more time, and I honestly forget who's in between that. I'm actually going to take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, I should have had that. My bad, Trevor.
No, that's no problem. So we got the Bengals, then we're on the road against the Seahawks and Ravens. I think we're losing out. I think we are losing out. I hate to say that, and I am picking, and I'm going to tell you in advance right now, I am picking the Bengals to win.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I hate to say that. I don't want to say that. I cannot jive with this team anymore.
No.
I cannot jive with this team anymore. So as I'm watching the game this past week, and we score that second touchdown, which at first two, Boswell missed the extra point on that first touchdown. That's kind of when I knew things were going to go bad.
Yeah, fuck.
Then on the second touchdown, we get that off the turnover. We struggle to get, what was it, like 4 yards after a block punt. That's what it was, after a block punt.
Yeah.
which I believe it was Killebrew that blocked that punt. So shout out to him, or whoever blocked the punt. Honestly, I can't remember. But then, we let the Colts drive down the field a couple times. It's 14-13, and our offense is doing absolutely nothing. I've said this to many other folks in my travels in these last couple of days. Never had I felt that a Steelers game was over when the score was 14-13 at halftime. I felt that one was over when it was 14-13 at halftime. Yes, I kept watching. I kept holding out hope that Mitch Trubisky would do something other than be his monkey crap self.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Right.
That didn't happen. Our offense couldn't get going, and we couldn't stop their run game. And I want to bring up a couple of statistics I have for you here. Trubisky, in his starts with the Steelers, has his lowest QBR since his rookie year, 33.4. That's his QBR. His QBR is rookie year, 33.3. So he's just slightly, ever so slightly better than what he was in his rookie year. Not only that, Jesus, I should have had this a little bit more prepared, but no, that's all right. 3 turnovers, 8 more penalties, just averaging over 3 yards per rush and just under 5 yards per pass.
Oh, fuck.
216 yards of offense, season low. They are averaging worse in terms of points per game than we did under Matt Canada.
Yes.
Let that sink in for a second. We wanted this guy gone. We got him gone. We got 400 yards. We're thinking, oh, well, we got to do is score now. Guess what? We can't score.
Yeah.
We're back to, I'd say we're back to square one, but it's more like square -7.
Yeah.
Not only that, Steelers, they're giving up 121 rush yards a game. When's the last time a Steeler defense was this inept against the rush defense? And I understand why. It's because the offense can't do jack diddly poo and the defense gets worn out.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave up a majority of the 170 rushing yards that the Colts had to backup running backs. It wasn't even Jonathan Taylor or Zach Moss getting the yards on us. It was guys by the name of Trey Sermon and Tyler Goodson. And in terms of that latter one, who?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, Nate, you'll like this one. We had to give up a touchdown to Mo Ali Cox. And you know an interesting fact about him, Nate. He played power forward at VCU.
Oh, I hate him. Ooh, it burned me when I saw him score. It was just an extra punch in the face. Son of a bitch.
So, on top of that, Steelers are seventh lowest in the NFL on third down conversions, and 25th in the NFL in terms of time of possession. You do the math. We're an awful team.
Terrible. And
this last game, yes, we had a knife. We had a knife in our arm or our leg, or if you want to pull a Ricky Bobby, we want to stick the knife in our own leg. That just twisted the knife for me.
Yeah.
This season's over. Lose out, get a higher draft pick, maybe even get a quarterback to, get a spark up Kenny's ass.
Right.
That's what I want. And to light a little bit of a fire under Mike Tomlin for once, because here's my issue with him. One of his Tomlinisms, one of his signature Tomlinisms, don't seek comfort. He's been laying in a lazy boy with this Steelers job for years now. As I just said, he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. And yes, I was there for that. Nate and you were there too for that Jacksonville game in 2017. That was one of the worst defensive games that I've ever seen in my life. And it's been nothing but disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, salvaged by the fact that he hasn't had a losing season. Yeah. He's been riding that for much too long now. It's time for – I'm not hopping on the Fire Tomlin train. I'm not. But light a fire under his seat, will you? Light a fire under his seat. Make his ass a little warm for this job, okay?
Light it. Light it up.
Light it up. Light it up. Put some stuff. Put some little shrubbery under there. Make his ass a little warm, will you? Make him try and fix this thing, okay?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Oh,
I was
great.
gonna be a little bit more vulgar. I'm glad I was not, and I was going to be a little bit more loud. I'm glad I was not, because my neighbors would have been disturbed.
No, both good too. Both two good points there. I just have to say, Kazi, whatever I get, Casey. I'm gonna keep fucking his name up, so that's the only time I'm gonna say it. He was fined $59,000 already this season. Then he got hit with another $208,000, and then that's 20% of his salary. Then you cut him out. He gets no fucking pay for the rest of the season. I found through my
quick side note, DB, a lot of that $59K had been revoked.
Okay, fair enough.
Per his agent. Fair
enough. So, but I went back on my lunch break here, and I'm like, there has to be another time that we were dealing with a secondary player that got shit for doing some hits. So I got Mike Mitchell here, and I actually. Here's the good. I'm not doing the full interview because I don't want to take up more of the time because I'm going to flip out about Tomlin and Ben's comments regarding the standard. But this minute and 30 seconds or so, him talking 6 years ago at this point, really touching on what happened in that game in this fucking play. It's actually kind of like a deja vu moment. So I'm just going to put this on here for you beautiful people. They're all fair points. It's actually kind of hold on here. I'm going to pause my. There you go.
We're always making bang plays. You never see us getting to line somebody up in a hole like a linebacker. We're playing full speed. He's 4-4. We're 4-4, 4-3 speed. Like, aim that. You go do that. You can. It's just risk of playing football. If the ball is in the air and a man jumps or a man ducks his head, how do you want me to readjust my body? You cannot do it. At the end of the day, this is football. If you want to see flag football, then let's take our pads off. That would make it easier for me because now I don't got to wear heavy shit. But give us flags for me to pull off because that way I know what we're playing. I signed up to play full speed contact football, and we're not doing that. I feel like I got to ask a guy, hey, are you ready for me to hit you right now before I hit you? That's crazy.
Just going off of that point, it's the same thing. If you're watching football on last Saturday here, you're watching and Trevor alluded to it too, the way the Minshew was positioning that ball, those passes over the middle, slants over on the side there, he's throwing balls in areas, man, and that are leaving those wide receivers so goddamn vulnerable. And again, Mike Mitchell, 6 years ago, it's the truth. What the fuck do you want these defensive players to do? If he sees the ball, or he's not even watching the ball, he's watching the player, his movement, and then they dive out and he's already leading in, you're going to flag the guy for that and fine him. I mean, honestly, I think we're closer to flag football than we think, fellas. I mean, this is bullshit. And then Tomlin just sitting there with no reaction. That's another thing that bothers the shit out of me. There's no. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here's my thought on that, DB.
Yeah.
We just saw Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid get fined for criticizing officials, pretty hefty amounts.
You're right. He is smart in that regard.
Mm-hmm. So I don't blame Tomlin for not saying anything, because if he did, he's getting fined too.
Right.
You can't criticize officials. I don't know why. Not if you're in the league. If you're outside the league or if you're in sports media, yeah, criticize them all you want. We're doing that right now.
Well,
but if you're in the league, can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it. And that's just the function of a workplace. Some of your rights are taken away. I can't tell my boss to F off.
Right.
I can't do that. I'll get canned.
Right. No,
in the NFL, you can't criticize officials. You'll get fined.
Right. But in that regard, I think it's too much of a punishment, but that's fine. Whatever, it happened. Goodell's going to do whatever the hell he wants. And then the other thing with the Steelers production as a team, shit show all around, and this is what's driving me nuts. So the players on the team right now are coming after Ben about saying the culture comment. Well, guess what? It's the fucking truth. No one is playing injured. Everybody's being a goddamn baby if they're not getting the ball. You see Pickens, I swear to God, I was thinking about getting his jersey. I'm staying fucking clear of him. Again, we see another highlight of him not sending a block because he's bitching because he's not getting the ball. Whatever. I don't know. I thought Tomlin was good at drafting players character-wise and all this shit. But now it's out the window. Like the whole locker rooms, Minka's the only one, and Hayward and TJ, trying to think of who, Chris Boswell, I feel like are the only ones that actually give a shit. And that's sad that one of them's your kicker. Like I don't know. I've never seen a Steelers team over a 3-year period just fucking flop every opportunity and Tomlin and all the sports media. Hey, he hasn't had a losing season. Fuck that. Quit building him up, man. That's the other goddamn problem. The media will not touch him. They will not talk shit on him except Colin Coward, right? Is that in my
Coward? Yeah.
I mean,
Stephen A. occasionally will give him a little rip too.
Yeah, and Mark Madden. Shout out to Mark Madden there. But no, I mean that's really all I have to say about that, boys. It's a fucking mockery. The 70s team, it's a mockery. It's a mockery.
No, I'll tell you this. I know our fathers are of a similar age. They lived through the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
Is this what the 80s was like? Because it feels pretty shitty.
Yeah. Right.
I'll just say that much. I'll just say that much. I know, we struggled a lot in the 80s and we struggled to get a quarterback after Terry.
Right.
Are we going to go through the same thing here after Ben?
Probably.
It's looking like it. I hate to say it. You all know I love Kenny. I obviously want him to succeed. He's wearing the black and gold.
Right.
But it's not looking good.
I'm losing hope in him. I just want to make it clear to the viewers. That's the first time I've said it publicly. I'm a little fucking concerned because now we're talking about bringing Justin Fields, Kermit the Frog, over from Chicago. What the fuck? Like, I can't.
I mean, yeah. Well, and we're starting Rudolph again.
Oh, well, hey, he gets to play in the reindeer games this year, so it's good.
He does. He gets a Christmas gift. Maybe his big red nose will lead us to a win.
I don't want to stay on too long because we got a lot of playoff talk, but real quick, why wait till 2 minutes left in the game to put him in the game? You guys got any insight on that? Why?
You're asking me to give insight on Mike Tomlin's decision making. I can't do that.
Guys in sports that I know, so I look to you when I don't understand what the hell is going on. Nate?
No, I know.
No,
I don't know. I'm still scratching my head over it.
Okay.
Why would you do it to that man? What do you have to gain from putting Mason Rudolph in the game for the final 3 minutes? Nothing. Here, I see it as an opportunity to ruin another quarterback's confidence. Like that's what I see it as.
Oh boy.
If you were going to bench Mitch, then bench him after the game. Let him finish it, and then go. We're making a change.
Mm-hmm.
You think Mason getting 5 live snaps is going to make that much of a difference? The dude hasn't played football since the preseason, and before that, he hasn't taken a snap in like a couple of years now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't just magically get 5 snaps and just remember. Most people don't anyway.
Yeah.
Like that was bizarre to me. I'll never understand that reasoning. I'll say this. I think he deserves a chance.
Yes,
I do.
Yep.
I know he's had some chances in the past. However, let's acknowledge who he was having the chances with. One of the worst offensive lines in football. Some of the youngest skill position players in football at the time. And, there was a lot of things against him. There were. And I'm not trying to defend him. I'm not defending him and Duck Hodges. I'm not.
Right.
But all I know is they had a Pro Bowl running back in the backfield and James Conner, and that dude couldn't get a yard. And everybody's like, man, James Conner's lost a step. Yada, yada, yada. Man, if we had Ben out there, yada, yada, yada. I don't care if we would have Ben. Yeah, maybe we were a slightly better playoff team, but we still weren't going to do anything. We weren't. We weren't built to win with him or Mason or Duck. It wouldn't have mattered. So as far as I'm concerned, throw Mason out there. Let him have a chance. Let him have the chance, because I'll tell you right now, Mitchell Trubisky might be looking for a job outside the National Football League very soon. This dude is the highest paid backup in the National Football League. He's a former first-round draft choice, second overall pick in a draft class. And this kid cannot do anything out there. He's lost. And it's crazy to see that they thought this kid was all that. I'll tell you what, I will definitely acknowledge this about Mitch. He has got all the intangibles. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got a big arm. But wow, that dude cannot throw the ball where he needs to throw it, and he has no clue what decision to make. He's so lost. He can't go through a progression to save his life. It's unfortunate. So I don't feel sorry for a guy that's made $47+ million in the NFL in his career. But man, this might be it for that kid. He's not looking good, and I don't know if his services are going to be required in the National Football League much longer. And I feel pretty confident saying he will not be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. And if he is, and we're running it back again with this squad, I might not turn on my television to watch. Because this is just a joke. This is an absolute joke. You have 3 backups on this in this program right now. 4 if you count McSorley. No offense to Trace, Penn State legend, but we got 4 backups on the squad right now, in my opinion. So that's all I have to add. But yeah, why throw Mason in the game? I don't freaking know. Nobody's thinking straight.
No. And to have him come in, the defense is already hot. They're on fire.
Yeah.
And he throws a pick.
Years.
It's like, what the fuck?
What are you doing?
Yeah. But, boys, so, and Nate even alluded to it in a conversation last week before our episode, and I apologize for all the viewers and subscribers last week. We were not able to do the show. But you weren't kidding about the AFC being a mess. This is a disaster.
My God, yes.
We got 6 teams or 11 teams boasting winning records, and then 6 with 7-6 records. And that hasn't happened since week 14 since 1970. So we're going on fucking 53 years here, boys. A little wild here. So I guess we know where the Ravens are at, Dolphins are at right now. Chiefs, Jaguars. So are the Steelers fucked? I don't want to keep making a Steelers comment here, but Browns, Bengals, I mean, those 2 are kind of head-to-head. You think the Browns have it set, or do you think the Bengals are able to pull it out?
Well, I think that the Browns and the Bengals have a very good shot of making it. And talked about that they're not getting 4 teams in the playoffs. There was a brief second where it looked like we could get all 4.
Yeah.
And we're like, the way the schedules work out, there's no way. And the one on the way out is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they have not finished last in their division in over 30 years. And a loss on Sunday, a loss or a tie on Sunday, solidifies them with at least a share of last place for the first time since the late 80s, I believe.
Jesus Christ.
So it's been a long time. And maybe they need the reality check, unfortunately. So, but yeah, the Steelers are done. Mathematically, no, but they're done. There's no shot.
Right. I guess the other point I have to make too, Joe Flacco. We haven't got to touch on him much. What the fuck is this? Like, you thinking maybe the Steelers should have picked him up, boys? I mean, Jesus Christ, he's on fire for the Browns. But I don't know.
I don't care how good he is. I don't want him wearing a Steelers uniform.
Fair enough.
I do not want. I'll keep it as PG as I can here. I don't want that scumbag wearing a Steelers uniform.
Right.
I don't care how good he is.
Yeah. No, and then
granted, yes, he has more touchdowns than Kenny already.
Right.
He's led the Browns to 2 straight wins.
Tommy DeVito too.
Three straight,
yeah.
3 straight wins, I think now.
Oh, is it 3 now? Oh, yeah, it was 2 coming into the week. Yeah. Yep.
Straight.
You're right. But
And
no.
And just to throw it in here too, Bills being the Cowboys, how much confidence went up for you boys in regards to that team after winning that game by an absolute landslide?
A lot.
Okay.
Showed that they could run the ball. They
Right.
showed that they could stop a passing team on defense even while they're hurt.
Right.
And they showed that, they're probably not going to be. Well, I don't think they're technically mathematically out of it to win the division.
No.
It's unlikely. But if they get a home playoff game, they're going to be tough to beat. If they can run the ball down the opponent's throat like that, like they did with the Cowboys. Granted, Cowboys have a defense designed to stop the pass.
Right.
They do. That's Dan Quinn's MO. We all know that. So the fact that, they ran James Cook down the throat and Josh Allen, again, under 100 passing yards, had 94 passing yards in that game, and the Bills still blew them out of the water, just controlled time of possession, and it was just a grinded-out affair from the Bills, something we're not used to seeing. If they can do that, they can win some playoff games. Whether they can sustain that, to be determined, because they haven't sustained much like that since Josh Allen got there. Or since Sean McDermott got there, for that matter.
Hey, what do you think?
Yeah, great win. They needed it. I picked them coming in. They needed to win. It was a must win. Their backs were against the wall. Cowboys were coming off a big high. They scored 40 points per game their last 5 games. Beat division rival Philadelphia. But then they actually had to play a game outside, and we saw how that went. The game plan was perfect for Buffalo. It was so refreshing to see the missing piece come together for them in a game for once in their lives.
Yes.
They finally said, let's run the damn ball because we have to. Josh Allen turns it over far too much. Let's get it out of his hands a little bit. Let him be dynamic enough, but let's not put everything on this kid.
Yep.
Let's spread the wealth. Throw when we need to, but run it down their throats when we don't. They're missing Leighton Vander Esch up the middle. They're missing Diggs in the secondary. Let's take advantage of those matchups.
Yeah.
And certainly they took advantage of not having Vander Esch in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And, that dude might never play another down of football in his life. And that's sick. That's sad to me. I mean, I think it's an absolute stuff. But, here's where it comes down to for me, though. They still might not make it in.
Right.
I don't care if you won this football game. I understand that certainly, it helps. It's going to aid. Still got 3 games left. You got a very favorable schedule, I believe. But it's going to be tough. And here's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
They might have to go to Arrowhead again. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. To me, is it sustainable? Is the fact of it being sustainable there? Absolutely it is. Do I think the Buffalo Bills will sustain it because of the play calling? No, I don't.
I agree with you. I agree.
I'm in agreement. They could win out. They have proven that they can go to Arrowhead and win. But we know how the Chiefs can just turn it on.
Yep.
No matter how much we talk about them and how much, they keep struggling for wins, which they kind of did again this past week against, a 3-win Pats team. They come playoffs, they could be a whole different team just purely based on pedigree and the fact that they've been there time after time after time. And I know we're all getting sick of it, but teams that have been there know how to handle it. Chiefs know how to handle it. Bills, yet to prove that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's coming from the 90s, too. I mean, 4 Falls of Buffalo. Great 30 for 30 if no one's watched it. But moving on to NFC. I just had to throw a little fucking jab in there for the Bills.
Yeah, it's okay. You have to.
But NFC side, boys. 49ers, I mean, they're pretty much, it's going there. Eagles losing the Seahawks. Are we concerned about them coming? I mean, at the later stage here of the season. I mean, what do you boys think?
Well, how can you not be concerned after you lose a game to Drew Lock?
Right.
no offense to Drew Lock, and he's actually, if you look at his overall stats, he's not horrible, and he has a decent record. But he had to step in last minute for Gino. I believe he was out with an illness. He was actually active for emergency duties, but did not play.
Right.
I didn't watch a whole lot of that game, but I just know when Drew Lock wins and beats your secondary, and you can only put up 17 points against that defense. Granted, it was in Seattle against a 12th man, one of the toughest places to play in football historically, and especially now. It's concerning. It's very concerning. In my opinion, there is a clear-cut number one in the NFL, and then there's everyone else right now.
Yeah.
And that clear-cut number one is wearing red and gold.
Yes, sir.
Bar none. I don't care that they lost 3 games. I don't care. They're only number one by a game.
Right.
They're clear-cut number one, and then it's a mashup of everyone else. I'd say the Ravens, maybe you could argue the Ravens are 1B. And I hate to say that. You could argue that. But to me, it's the Niners and everyone else at this point, not the Eagles. Even though, like I said, they were my Super Bowl pick, and I'll stick with them for that. But right now, clear-cut number one, Niners.
Yeah, I think the NFC is a 3-horse race, but more likely a 2-1, two-horse race to me. Simple as the Eagles and the 49ers for me. Yeah, but I definitely got to acknowledge the Eagles' defenses look putrid the last month. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. They got absolutely gashed by Kenneth Walker last night. They could not bring that man down. And Charbonnet helped out a little bit too. But, yeah, Kenneth Walker had a great game. He couldn't help Dinsy's fantasy team come all the way back, unfortunately. But he did his part. It's hard.
There was no coming back when he had Christian McCaffrey's putting up 42 on me. That's not going to go.
Yeah, wow. It's not any player's fault. Just a tough break for Trevor there. Yeah. But they got embarrassed by Kenneth Walker. And look, I'm going to give Kenneth Walker his flowers. He's great. He's a great back. He's very dynamic. He's one of the top backs in the league when he's healthy. But I'll tell you what, if you're getting gashed like this, and then you finally are like, all right, let's bring it up. Let's bring some of these guys up. Let's cheat up. We're getting gashed. And then Drew Lock goes over the top to, 3 very capable receivers. DK Metcalf had 2 insane catches on that drive. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba finished it off with a crazy catch of his own. And then we didn't even talk about Lock. But when you have 3 dynamic receivers like that, and you cheat up, good luck. I think that was tough place to play, tough environment. But the Eagles have the Giants twice to end this thing, and then one other game. So I think they got out of their system. They just survived what I see as the toughest stretch of any team in the NFL this year. Buffalo had a tough stretch themselves, but the Eagles, the last 2 months, their schedule's been terrible. Holy smokes.
Brutal. Very bad.
Yeah, they're still fighting for the number 1 seed. I think that they're going to go 3-0 to possibly be in contention for the number 1 spot. I'll tell you right now, this Ravens 49ers game on this weekend is huge for both. Very huge. We talked about it a few weeks ago. It's finally here. This might be Super Bowl preview. Very well might. These are the 2 most physical teams in the league. And to me, Brock Purdy has the least amount of passing attempts. I think he's got like the second most passing touchdowns. He's got like 32nd passing attempts for, in the NFL this year, but he's second in touchdown passes. And it's because they have the right mix of plays.
Right.
And Lamar Jackson and company, they have the right mix of plays. It doesn't matter who's running the ball. I mean, goodness gracious, they're down 2 of their top 3 running backs right now. And they're still running it down your throat. They're running all over the place. And Lamar's not even running it. He's not even running it close to the level he's been in the last few years. But they have the right mix. They have a stud front. And they have enough playmakers on the edge that they can mix the ball and chunk and dunk it down the field. and their defense is the best it's been in a decade. Maybe a little less than a decade, but probably about a decade. So I don't want to see either one of those teams. And but 2-horse race to me in the NFC. I think it's the 49ers and Eagles. Cowboys, maybe. Doubt it, though. I don't think they can string together enough wins. I think that when they're on, they're on. And when they're off, they're off. Remember, this is a team lost to Arizona this year.
Right.
And they didn't lose, like, flukily. They got blown out. They got beat pretty handily in that football game. So, yeah, I think, like Trevor said, this is the 49ers right now and everybody else, maybe the Ravens. But we're going to see this weekend who's ready. It's going to be a really good game. Maybe a Super Bowl preview. We could see these two teams, sure. So that's kind of how I feel about the NFC.
Right. I guess, and special talent. Trevor, he's my goddamn quarterback on Ultimate Team. Love the guy, Jalen Hurts. Just if you watch back that last drive, the interception play, I'm not really sure what the hell was going on in his head, because he had Gainwell on the left there. Not sure if you're trying, maybe he reminds us of someone you and me both know, Trevor, going for this big splash play. But not in that moment. You could have just checked it down to the left. But I guess it's here, there, but it is what it is.
It was one of the weirdest plays I've seen Jalen Hurts make too.
Yes.
You had timeouts. You had the middle of the field. You had your full playbook, or just about.
Yeah.
And he made 2 very terrible decisions in a row. I was like, man, what's going on with this guy?
Right.
I think he just needed to get out of his system. He wasn't feeling great. I'm not trying to make excuses for him.
Oh, he was,
But he's on a bad stretch right now. He hasn't looked great in recent weeks. They're not running and throwing. They're not playing the complementary offensive football that they've been playing the previous few games. They've squeaked out some wins, not scoring a lot of points, not running the same with Swift, not mixing it up, getting it to Smith and Brown and company the same ways. So they've missed Goddard definitely as well. He's a security blanket, but I think they're going to get right these next few weeks. They have to. The job. Thanks. Like, if you can score 13 points, you might win.
Yeah.
I don't care what DeVito is doing. I don't care. care.
He's overcharging a nice little. What were you going to say, Joe?
I would say those chicken cutlets that his family cooked up in the tailgate pregame.
Well, I'm
absolutely
pissed.
Delicious.
Right.
That was good. And side note, Eagles, Giants, Cardinals, then Giants left.
Right.
Dallas, they got the Lions. They got the Dolphins, Lions, and the Commanders left. Right. You do the math that who's going to win that division and who's going to have to go on the road for a playoff game.
I think we're going to see Dallas at Tampa Bay again.
Oh, that would be nice.
And that's it's favorable to the Cowboys to me. The Buccaneers are very up and down. Susceptible on defense. Their best defensive player doesn't want to play anymore. Devin White, he wants out. He sat this week. He was a healthy scratch. And they don't run the football well.
Right.
They throw it well. Baker's played great.
Mm-hmm.
He became the second quarterback this week of all time to have a perfect passer rating at Lambeau. First opposing. The only other person with a perfect passer rating at Lambeau was Aaron Rodgers. Not even Brett Favre. Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Wow.
And Baker was second, just like we all would expect. So, I'll tell you what, though. I think Dallas would be favored in that game, obviously, even if it's on the road. Probably good weather, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't run the ball very well, and Baker kind of plays right into their hands with his passing. And not a great defense for Tampa Bay right now. Have good players, but a unit that's taken a step back in the last couple of years. So that could be an intriguing matchup for sure, and in the opening weekend if it plays out that way. But it's looking like it.
Right. Right. We just don't need Dak sliding in the middle of the field. Would be wonderful. Would be wonderful for the Cowboys. But switching over real quick, boys. Before I keep going here, you guys got anything you want to share tonight? I feel like I'm taking over here. 50 minutes
No.
into the show.
No,
Trevor?
perfect.
No, that's all good. I did want to touch a little bit on NBA toward the end, but
Okay.
just a couple quick things on that. But other than that,
How much time here? All right. So NFL MVP awards, boys. We got the predictions here. I guess the plus and minus factor here. Dak Prescott leading the way. Brock Purdy right on his heels. Do we think Dak's going to get the MVP here?
No.
Okay. I'm very shocked by that.
No. I'll tell you what.
150.
I'll tell you what it comes down to. Brock Purdy wins this game against the Ravens and plays well this week. I think he's got it locked up.
I bet you goes minus.
And Dak's got a pretty tough schedule ahead of him. So I think I've seen some things where Purdy's number one now. But yeah, I've also seen some things where Dak is slightly ahead of Purdy. But yeah, not Dak to me, no.
Okay.
Played great. He's played really well. He really has. This was his only blemish in the last 2 months. This past week. That was not even just on him. I'm not gonna. And for people putting this on Dak, they're dumb. They didn't watch the game then. You didn't watch
yes,
it.
yes.
Tell me without telling me you didn't watch it. That defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Terrible.
I mean,
Terrible.
it was LSU defense out there. They couldn't stop it.
It was pretty bad.
Horrible. So
I mean, James Cook had 180 rushing yards,
yeah, he had 200 plus all-purpose yards. Dude was tearing them up.
3 touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah. So go ahead and put it on Dak. Yeah, I understand that dude didn't play well, but no, it's complimentary football, and they didn't play complimentary football. So yeah.
And yeah, real quick side note on that: those must have been the this past week rankings. Brock Purdy is now at minus 200 to win MVP.
I'd go Brock then.
And then right behind him, Lamar and Josh Allen is actually leapfrogged Dak Prescott. He's at plus 800. Dak is at plus 900.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then right behind Dak, CMC and Tua.
Trevor, let's go. You got NFL Offensive Player of the Year odds on there too.
Yes, sir. I absolutely do. That would be CMC at minus 170. Tyreek Hill right behind him at plus 125. And then CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, all at plus 5,500 or more.
Wow. Well,
it's looking like either CMC or if Tyreek Hill is able to break the receiving record, the receiving yards record for a single season, and get to that 2,000-yard plateau. It's a two-person race.
This is the first time that I would be comfortable with 2 co-offensive players winning. Both their seasons have just been fucking phenomenal. Like McCaffrey, we talked on Sunday, Trevor. I put a bet in just for a touchdown. The guy gets fucking 3. It's like every time I just put a touchdown.
It's automatic. It's automatic. Other than one game this season where he did not score a touchdown, he's scored in every game.
Right.
At least once. And I tell you right now, I don't know if you can parlay these two, but Brock Purdy versus the field, minus 200 to win MVP, and then Christian McCaffrey, minus 170. You could have 2 Niners winning these big awards.
Right.
If that doesn't say enough about how damn good the Niners are,
right.
I don't know what will.
Well, they drafted a kicker in the 3rd round. People forget this shit.
Yeah, right.
Your team's so fucking stacked.
That dude has not missed an extra point. I know Jake Moody's missed a few kicks. Dude has not missed an extra point. He hasn't missed an extra point in 4 freaking years.
Right.
Correct.
This dude's just on fire. And Jake Moody deserves some flowers, but Brendan Aubrey hasn't missed a field goal all season. He's a rookie too.
He's my kicker in fantasy. He's been doing very well for me.
Right.
So these guys, and look, I know it's a quarterback league, but I feel pretty strongly about some of these kickers coming in and the abilities that they have. We got some dudes out there, and pretty nice to see that because you love a kicker till you don't. But we got some guys that have really stepped up and hopefully they continue to come through. Butker's had a great year too in Kansas City.
Yes.
So don't think he's missed a field goal all year either. So feel pretty strongly about some of these kickers. These guys are otherworldly right now. They're pretty dang good.
There's no Josh Scobie's in the field there.
Oh, brother. Well, thank goodness. Thank
Too
goodness.
soon. Too soon.
And Richard Aguayos too.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Or sorry,
Roberto. Yeah.
Aguayo.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Ooh.
But defensive player of the year, Trevor. What odds we got on that?
Looks like we got Micah Parsons plus 125, Myles Garrett right behind him plus 150. Again, looking like a two-man race. TJ Watt plus 400, and then Daniel Hunter plus 2,500 on down from there.
Hunter really came all
Oh,
around.
yeah.
this season.
Oh, yeah. And credit to Josh Allen, the linebacker or edge rusher from Jacksonville as well. He's in this race. He's fifth, plus 300. And then, of course, somebody mentioned Crosby in here, Max Crosby, all the way down at plus 8,500, unfortunately, even though he's had, again, a stellar season and he is pretty much that entire Raiders defense.
Yes.
He wasn't this past week, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
A big quick shout out to the Raiders franchise record in points and to all you Raider fans out there. Good on
Just, Nate, I was going to actually, I know you wouldn't wear it. I was actually going to buy you a Raiders hat, try to get your address from Trevor, because they got Brandon Staley fired. You could have it as a memento.
Finally.
That is true. Yeah.
Could have got him fired twice. Year one, when he called the stupid timeout against their sorry behinds and week freaking 18 or whatever it was. And then they kicked a field goal and let the Steelers into playoffs. And then we had to watch them go against the Chiefs just for shits and gigs for no freaking reason at all.
Right.
But yeah, I'll say this about Brandon Staley. I haven't said this. I haven't given this guy any credit at all for a year. Not that he deserves much, but for Brandon Staley to go from John Carroll Division III football team to NFL head coach in about 5 years. Wow.
He'll get picked up offensive coordinator, Nate.
I think so. And, I think that there's a very good chance that he stays in LA. Goes right to the Rams. He's a McVay coaching tree guy.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
It makes sense. And, I didn't realize that. But, my good friend Cortland Smith pointed out, I don't disagree with him. I don't. I also say this. If he returns to college, I think UCLA might have a job opening, potentially. I don't know what's going on with Kelly there, but I don't know. Just speculation.
Yeah, Chip might fill one of the NFL vacancies, or he might take another college job.
Yeah, we don't know. So, but yeah, no. What Brandon Staley was able to do from Division III coach to NFL head coach in like 5 years, that's crazy. It doesn't happen every day. So good for him. He worked very hard, but this dude was not quite ready for the moment. And honestly, I don't know if he ever will be. And there's no shame in that either. There's no shame in being a very good OC or decent or position group coach. That's a pretty dang good job. You do pretty well for yourselves. Dick LeBeau, he was a freaking defensive coordinator for about a zillion years, it felt like. And that was some guys aren't built for it. But the money, you take it. So, yeah. But finally, please, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for getting rid of him. And I'll say this too. The GM that got fired alongside him, I personally disagree with that.
I do as well.
They got players in the door there for a place that doesn't always get players in the door there. They get some players. They've always had some pretty decent guys. But holy cow, how many people do you need to win? Seriously.
Right.
That defense has names all over at all three levels, and they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
And they have a defensive coach.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I told you that statistic. I think it was 14 games, the last 2 seasons or something, or last 3 seasons, under 3 minutes, they just shit their pants and lost the game. They were leading 3 minutes to go.
For more than just 3 years there.
Right.
Oh, yes.
He just allowed them to expedite it, make it even more known.
Right.
Hey, man, you lead the league in offense and defense and don't make the playoffs. You go 8-8.
2010.
What else can you do? What else can you do besides that and still lose 8 games? I mean, that's the Charger way, unfortunately. My gosh.
I'm scared the Steelers' way is becoming that. Like,
Yeah, well, we could. Well, yeah.
We have a side of the ball that we absolutely are grade A monkey doo-doo on.
right.
Well,
The Chargers did not have that in 2010.
Yeah, for sure. But I'll tell you what, Trevor, we're that way right now on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
Because our defense is so hurt that we got.
Yeah, we've gone through, like you said, how many secondary players? I mean, geez, Keanu Neal, Demonte KZ's hurt. JPJ, I don't believe JPJ was hurt for any spells, but Minka
hurt for some of the season.
Yeah, Quan Alexander out for the year. We got Landon Roberts, and we had a rookie in there, Thompson. I believe he's questionable for this upcoming week. Watt was hurt for a little bit. Cam was hurt for the first however many games, 6-8 games.
Cold
when you're holding this thing together with Elmer's glue, cracks are going to split.
It's
cold. And cracks have more than split with the Steelers defense. And
yeah,
I know we went back to the Steelers here, but
yeah. And
you mentioned Tom Telesco and Josh Spanos. They honestly worked pretty well together. This is not on them by any stretch of the imagination. They had the right players at the right time. They just had one of the worst decision makers at head coach that I've seen in the last decade, especially in crunch time. That guy went to the James Franklin School of Time Management. That drives me absolutely insane. And I'm gonna be honest. If I had to pick a second favorite team, the Chargers would be in the running for it. Of course, I'm diehard Steelers, but if I had to pick a second favorite team, Chargers would be right up there. And as a Chargers fan, well, I guess all 12 of them that attend SoFi Stadium games, I would imagine it's a very frustrating time for them. Yeah. But just like the Steelers getting Matt Canada out of town, maybe new beginnings with Mr. Staley out of town.
Yep. And we'll see if they replace with Bill Belichick.
Could happen. He's
very acceptable at the destination for him if the Patriots depart.
We know that's happening.
Yeah, we believe so. We believe so.
That is true. There's a strong possibility that that is happening, and a strong possibility that was the case early in the season, if not before the season started.
Yeah.
Right. But rookies, Trevor offense, CJ Stroud has the fucking cake, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's no contest there, and I think Jalen Carter has the cake on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those are no contest to me.
Okay. Yeah, and it's slightly unfortunate how well Stroud's playing for a man named Sam Laporta, because this dude is having one of the best rookie seasons for a tight end of all time. I mean, Mike Ditka is one of the only other people in the running for best rookie, seasons of all time. And when you're in that category with a legend like him, pretty good. Dude had 3 touchdowns this weekend. He was showing everybody why they drafted him. And, kudos to Trevor. He was on him for a while. So was I, but Trevor, said it first.
I got him in best ball and fantasy, and I am very happy that I did.
Yeah, he's automatic, man. But no, CJ's the guy, and I think he's going to miss another game this week. So, that's tough.
I believe it was just confirmed right before we got on the air here. He is confirmed to miss another game.
Yeah. So, going to be Case Keenum, Davis Mills show. I think they each play a little bit, but yeah, Case Keenum led them to victory. But I know that probably leads us into coaching jobs, because there's some guys that have done a masterful job this year for sure.
Yeah. Comeback player. Hamlin still has it.
I don't know how you can give it to anyone else.
Right. Yeah.
I've said it many times before. The fact that he even stepped on a football field again.
Yeah.
It's done, dusted. I will say Joe Flacco vaulted to second in that running at plus 1,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And do I think that he should be top few? Yeah, I do. But the dude's played like 4 games. Come on now.
I know. To me that's an overreaction. But
how about we consider Baker Mayfield and Tua, who played a whole season?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, in my opinion, Tua Tagovailoa is it for me. Damar Hamlin, absolutely. He, for him to step foot on a football field and play in meaningful football again is great.
Right.
But
Yes.
I'm not trying to short the guy at all, and it might be controversial, but the dude's played in like 2 or 3 games.
Right.
And you set a standard of an award.
I agree with you, Nate.
Do
Yeah.
you break it? I don't know. I truly understand whatever way they go. I'm just saying. And
I agree with you.
here's the other inconsistency I have, and it's not just with this award; it's with MVP. Now we've kind of named it a quarterback award, but other than there's been some good quarterback play, but Tyreek and CMC I think have been the best players on the football field week in and week out, and unfortunately I think Tyreek is not going to eclipse 2,000. He has an outside shot to do so, but he better get busy, and there's also slimmer chance for him to catch Calvin Johnson for most receiving yards in a season too. But yeah, to me, when those guys are on the field, they're the 2 best. And another guy position wise that has had a masterful season is Raheem Mostert. He's got 20 touchdowns, and to put that into perspective, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense has 20 touchdowns.
I believe the Jets offense has like 13.
Yeah, the Patriots have less than Raheem Mostert. The Jets have less than Raheem Mostert. I believe the Panthers have less than Raheem Mostert.
Right.
And another team as well. So, that's the third guy. But yeah, no, it's probably going to be Purdy. But yeah, going back to, comeback player of the year, just a weird standard for that award. It would be going against the grain this year, but understandably, if they do that, I have no problem with it. And good for Damar Hamlin. Glad that he's an active player in the NFL still. It's an amazing story for sure.
Yeah. No. Coach of the year, I'll tell you right now, this guy fucking chews nails and pisses excellence. If Dan Campbell didn't say fucking Carpenter, I got it right, boys. Dan Campbell.
There you go. Good work, DB.
Yeah, I practice all.
You got it.
Day.
You got it. You'll screw up 7 other names on Madden tonight, but you didn't screw up that one.
Right. No. If he doesn't win Coach of the fucking year, though, I mean, come on. I'm sorry.
If the Lions win the division and he doesn't win it, I tell you who the other favorite is, though. Nico Ryans.
Yep.
Give that man his flowers, please.
Both of them.
A lot of people are picking the Texans to go last in that division.
Yeah.
They are a playoff team as we sit here today.
Right.
They are one of 3 AFC South playoff teams right now.
Right.
Who'd have thought that?
Not me.
No, not me either.
Yeah.
Give D'Amico Ryans his flowers, please.
Yep. I agree. DB, I think it, Dan Carpenter doesn't deserve it because he's a kicker, not a head coach, but Dan Campbell deserves it. To put it into perspective, you guys, I think I've said it on this program before. The Detroit Lions have never won the NFC North.
No.
Ever. They have the last time the division was 1991 when it was the NFC Central. They're about to have their 3rd playoff game, I believe, this century, as long as they make it, which, barring anything crazy, they're going to make it.
I hope.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, right now, the way D'Amico Ryans is putting together this and despite their 2 best receivers being out for the, one out for the season, one out for, an extended period of time, and then even without CJ Stroud, that's pretty dang impressive too.
Yeah.
And I'll extend a little bit further. Shane Steichen thought that Anthony Richardson was going to be his starting quarterback. This dude played like 3 games. And credit to Gardner Minshew. He's been excellent. He's been excellent. I think this dude's a starting quarterback. And I've thought that for a while. He never got a fair shake where he's been. Jacksonville was a dumpster fire when he took over. They were not content with him. Philadelphia, they got Jalen Hurts. He lost the job. He comes to Indy. He loses this job. This dude really, to me, has not had a fair shake.
No.
And I think he is, while he is bottom few starting quarterbacks, I think he is a starting quarterback in this league. I'll tell you this right now. I would rather have him than Kenny.
Oh. I think we should have picked him up, actually.
Yes,
That-
if I can interrupt, Nate, I want him just for the vibes. I don't
Oh,
even
sure,
care if
yeah,
he plays
sure.
well. I want the living in a van, frat bro, Hawaiian shirt and jean shorts vibes in Pittsburgh. You know how gloomy it is in this city when the Steelers suck?
Right.
I need Gardner Minshew vibes. I need him now.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Going back to Shane Steichen, came over from Philadelphia. He's been great. He's rallied this team. He's made moves that people are like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" You know, they kept Zach Moss, and some people didn't think that was a good idea. He's used him an amazing way, and then they got Jonathan Taylor back, and he was playing great till he got injured. He's been out for a few weeks, but yeah, no matter who they got out there, man, some of these young receivers have stepped up for their team. They've gotten rid of some of the old veterans, rebuilt the line a little bit, especially from last year that couldn't block anybody. And they're 1 or 2 wins away from making the playoffs. Probably 2. Might take 3, but probably definitely 2 to get in there. And yeah, he's done a marvelous job. First year head coach, so he's in the running too. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Campbell because to win a division title with the Lions hasn't been done in 32 years. That's enough to me.
How can you not? How can you not?
Right.
It's just amazing to see Ryans and Campbell there turn 2 franchises that have just been dumpster fires for years, and now they're finally, getting their flowers and figuring it the fuck out. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I think it comes with picks and actually knowing what the fuck you're doing out there, Tomlin. But no, I mean, it's a pleasure. Shit. I think that's it for the list there, Trevor.
Yeah.
Go on to Pick'ems here real quick, and then we'll.
I did want to touch on real quick the Aaron Rodgers situation. He was medically cleared, but it's not looking like the Jets are going to activate him and put him on the roster. They need to do that by tomorrow if he's not going to be on IR for the rest of the year. But he said on McAfee's show today, with the Jets out of playoff contention, he kind of alluded to the fact, preparing for next year, looking forward to that rather than coming back. So as much as, he wants to make medical history, it wouldn't mean anything in the long run. And I believe even one of his own players, and excuse me, I'm forgetting his name. DJ Reed. DJ Reed, one of the secondary players for the Jets, even said it's a very low reward, high risk type of a situation.
Definitely.
So can't blame Aaron at all, obviously, for sitting this out. With the Jets at 5-9 out of it. But just the fact that he even teased it, that's going to change the medical game and the NFL forever.
Yeah, right.
He recovered from a torn ACL in 3 months.
Right.
Torn Achilles.
Unheard of.
Torn Achilles.
Or torn Achilles, excuse me. Thank you. Torn Achilles in 3 months. That's usually a 8 to 9 month recovery time, season ending, if not more than that.
It can be a year. It's insane.
It can be up to a year. Yes. Yeah. So the fact he came back in 3 months.
Yeah.
Where he teased coming back in 3 months.
Yeah.
That's history in and of itself, and that's going to change the league for a long time from a medical standpoint.
If they were in playoff contention, he would have fucking played.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
The crack for sure.
Yeah. But week 16 here, boys. Again, I'm looking at this list here. It is a fucking shit show with
the games are awful this week.
It's just too goddamn close. Might be some comments.
Anything not on a Monday night is very difficult this week.
Yes. Starting us off on Thursday night here, Los Angeles Rams against the Saints. I'm going to go Rams. I just believe in McVay against the Saints. I mean, that's really it. And I enjoy Stafford. The Saints, they just kind of lost their fucking way here. It's nice, Derek, you bought all those guys gifts and shit. You made me look like an idiot when I tell Cole I hope he goes and shines in New Orleans there in the bayous. And I think you've just been really focusing on the crayfish eating and throwing the goddamn football. But what do you boys think here?
Hey, don't underestimate those crayfish, brother.
No, the jambalaya, all that shit.
Them's is damn good. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
I almost did the fucking Italian thing.
It's not quite the chicken cutlets or it's not quite my grandmother's meatballs or anything like that, but pretty good. Since I kind of took over the conversation, I'll make my pick. I'll say Rams as well.
Yeah, this is a big game for both teams. The Rams have worked their way back into playoff contention. I believe they're at the 7th seed right now if the playoffs start today.
Yes.
This is a tough game for sure. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Rams. I think they need it more. I think we're going to see a few losses in the NFC South again to keep things interesting till the final week. So I'm gonna go Rams as well.
And then Pittsburgh Steelers, Yinzer Country, playing against the Bengals at home. Spread's 1.5, and we are not favored. But I'm going to go Steelers. I already know where you boys are going. The over/under though, Trevor, 37. Very interesting there too. But I'm going to leave it at that.
You think the Steelers score more than 13 points?
It'd be fucking awesome to see Mason Rudolph just light it up. I mean, but I know it's not going to happen. I can't. Yeah, I mean, Christmas spirit,
the thing I'm kind of mad about. I don't know who's on the broadcast, but I know it's an NBC broadcast. So if that bum Chris Collinsworth, that former Bengals, calling the game, I'm not going to watch it.
If Mark Sanchez is calling the game, I might fucking puke.
Yeah. Butt fumble Rooski himself. But no, I already made my pick earlier this week. I hate to say it. I don't have. I have a sliver of faith in this Steelers team anymore. I don't have.
I get it.
I'm done. I'm done with this season.
You're still a fan. It's just they're breaking your fucking heart. You know what I mean? Don't go breaking my heart.
Breaking my heart.
Yeah.
As Tommy DeVito would say, breaking my heart.
Yeah. I'm going to go Bengals. Jake Browning is off to one of the best starts in NFL history in terms of starts. He's playing with a swagger that I didn't even know this dude had. I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go over 37.5. I think the Steelers defense is atrocious right now, and the Bengals might get 30 themselves against us. So, and the Bengals defense is not great in terms of their points either. They give up a lot of points. They make splash plays. They're a splash defense, and I think that's fair to say. But yeah, I think the Bengals are going to score a lot of points on their defense right now. Yeah, I'm going to go Bengals cover that spread, and they come into Acashore and take it to us and win the game.
Biggest difference here in betting wise, Trevor, minus 900 Buffalo Bills heading out to LA there against the Chargers. I'm going to take that spread at 12.5. I think it's going to be a fucking shit show. Who the fuck is filling in as coach? Should have probably asked that when we were on the Staley thing.
That is a good question. I am honestly not sure.
That's okay. They're going to get
more.
Okay.
I don't think it's Kellen.
It's not Kellen Moore. I know that. It's not him.
It's is it Giff Smith? I don't even know who the crap that is.
Is that special teams?
Might be. Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it's just going to be a shit show. Bills all the way. Bills Mafia going to be out there smashing tables in the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean the Chargers defense too. They're not up to snuff, and if the Bills can run the ball again, good luck. Easton Stick is not going to be able to play catch up for the Chargers. I hate to say it. And you're coming off one of the most embarrassing losses in franchise history, if not the most embarrassing.
Right.
I don't know how they recover from that. They're clearly headed into something of a rebuild. Their cap situation is awful right now. A lot of their defensive stars are age 30 plus, and they're not performing.
No.
It's one of the nightmare scenarios from an organizational perspective in the NFL. And I think the bleeding continues with the loss to the Bills, and I'll take that 12.5 as well, Drew.
And if they had a betting thing on here, 10,000 Buffalo Bills fans, that's all that's going to be there. I don't see any Chargers colors in the stands.
Well, that one lady might be there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about too. I forget her name, but she apparently doubles as a Vikings fan. So
Yeah. I'll go Buffalo as well. I don't care if Easton Stick won 4 national championships with North Dakota State. This ain't the FCS, bud. So gonna go with the Bills. They're hot. Chargers can't run the ball right now. Can't get their receiving core of the ball at the same rate. Unfortunately, although Joshua Palmer had a really nice game on Thursday night, he had a nice game. Good to see, some of their development and stuff as players. But no, I think Buffalo, and Buffalo's got to have it too. You know what I mean? They got to have it, so they can get a home game on the road, and that's always a nice gift when anybody goes into SoFi to get home games on the road. So I'm gonna go Buffalo, and I think they'll cover that spread too. I think they're gonna take it to them. They're gonna open it up. I think they'll open it up. They'll do a nice mix. I think Josh Allen's gonna come out and he's gonna have a really big passing game. 3-4 passing touchdowns I expect from him.
Okay. Then we got the Colts Falcons. This is, I think, the fucking closest game here.
Yes, it is. It's a point. Or excuse me, Jags Bucks has an even line, so that's one. That's close, but that's it.
I'm going with Colts because me and Nate are on this wavelength that the Falcons fuck us every week almost. So I'm going with Colts.
So tired of them.
Yeah. Arthur Smith, I told you, Trevor, he should be receptionist at FedEx instead of being a fucking coach.
Oh, yes. I was discussing this with a coworker today. It should be treated as grand larceny the way they have treated Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
It should be a crime against humanity the way they have treated Kyle Pitts and the way they have misutilized him. This guy was one of the more talented tight end prospects that we've seen in years. We saw flashes, but that's unfortunately all we've seen because quarterbacks can't get him the ball. And I guess Taylor Heineke is going to be starting again, even though they said Desmond Ridder was going to be the starter for the remainder of the season. They keep switching that back and forth. That being said, though, I'll pick the Falcons for no reason other than it's the Falcons, and there's surely to be an ample amount of randomness to this game with just by the nature of the players involved. I'll say the coin flips to the Falcons side.
Gotcha.
Trevor, I'm with you, man. I have this gut feeling that they Panthers, and they come back and they do this garbage where they hang around, and I'm so freaking tired of it because they lose this game, they're out. They're actually probably out of it. You know what I'm saying? They got to win this thing. They got to win. And the Colts just blew open the Steelers, and I think they opened it up a little too much. You know what I'm saying? I think that they opened up the can of worms where they may have ran some plays they shouldn't have ran, and got some guys the ball they shouldn't have got the ball. Who knows if Pittman's playing? That doesn't help. So I don't care if you blow out Pittsburgh. They're not a very good football team right now. Got to get a game for the Falcons. So I'm going to go them for no reason at all other than they have the stupidest wins and the stupidest losses in human history. And I'm just so tired of talking about them. They're my kryptonite in any betting or any sort of wager. And I wouldn't touch this game with a 1,000 bazillion foot pole. But
No, God, no.
Stupid reason. Falcons for some stupid reason because they're in that SpongeBob episode where it's opposite day, and that's the freaking reasoning we're going with.
I'm not. I'm putting this game very low in the confidence pool. I'm just saying that right now, Nader. And I will pick them for this reason too. I want 3, 7, and 8 teams in that NFC South. I want that to happen. I'm done. Well, I'm not done rooting for the Steelers. I'm always going to be, there. I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to be watching on Sunday, and I'm always going to want to pull my hair out.
Right.
But the least I can do other than that is root for chaos elsewhere, and I'm going to root for it in the NFC South.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Green Bay Packers against the Panthers. Seriously, just take the goddamn Packers. Spread 4.5. Take that. It's over and under 36.5. Who the fuck knows? That's another. Dan, I don't know, man. Like, I said it last time we were on here together. I think, me and Trevor's episode. The fucking Panthers are just. I'm never going to bet on them or bet for them to win. I just don't believe in them. Bryce Young, shit situation he got into there. They got DJ Moore there. I believe so.
No, that's where
No,
they away to the Bears, and
Yeah,
they traded their pick.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So the Bears, as of right now, are sitting with the number 1 and I believe the number 5 pick.
Jesus.
4 or 5.
Yep, correct.
All right. Yeah. Fuck them. Packers all the way.
Yeah,
Joe Love's gonna have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, going Packers. Packers played their way into contention, then quickly played themselves out of it. Matt LaFleur, we crowned him. He's December King. Joe Vember. We saw what happened with Joe Vember. Then we hit on the train. Then the dude threw his elbow out or wrist out, whatever. And then we jumped on the Matt LaFleur December train. Doesn't lose in December. Then he loses 2 straight. Lays a freaking egg. But I don't care. The Panthers are just sorry right now. So this is a get back game for the Packers to keep grim playoff hopes alive. I don't think they're going to make it, but their march back starts now. They're going to beat Carolina, and I think they'll cover the spread too.
I tell you, number 9 is the magic number for Bryce Young because he wears number 9 and he has 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions this season so far. Panthers 2-12 coming into this thing. Again, another mess of an organization, and quite frankly, that I believe he's the owner or GM, whoever he is. Quite frankly, he probably is up there with the worst owners in the NFL. He might be right up there. I was going to say Irsay, but his team's 8-6, so
Yeah,
I can't really say that anymore. No, Panthers dumpster fire. I don't know how you pick anyone else other than Green Bay. I mean, I guess if they hold them to under 10 points, Carolina does, like they did with the Falcons.
Yeah.
Sure, but no other scenario. No. Green Bay.
I picked the Panthers once this whole season, and it was against the Texans, and they got it done somehow. And to put it in perspective, the Panthers have 2 wins this year. They have not been ahead in regulation in the fourth quarter, but they have 2.
And something else to chew on, too, in both of those wins, they have not scored an offensive touchdown.
That's bizarre. Just
fuck?
absolutely bizarre. And this is the worst part of it. The Panthers fired Matt Rule last year. They let Books come in, and they almost made the playoffs. And they had a run-heavy team, downhill sort of team, smash-mouth team. And now they go, let's spread it out with the same roster and add Adam Thielen and Mingo, and we're going to be good. No.
Nope.
You idiot. You freaking idiots.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Frank Wright didn't get a fucking fair chance either. The owner's a jackass. He should just sell the team. He's like the Pirates owner. Fucking
Maybe
dick.
you should have kept the $70 million you gave to Carnegie Mellon and gave it to the Panthers because maybe that makes a damn difference.
But the
David Tepper, that's his name. I don't know how I forgot his name. David Tepper.
Yeah, you know what his nickname is for me, Mr. Dickhead. That's what he is. But anyways, apologize there, Panther fans. Dumpster fire down there. A little spark up right there.
I don't think you're going to get in trouble for besmirching the Panthers right now.
But Browns and Houston Texans, I want to see the dog pound fucking cry. Somehow stumbled upon their Barstool page. A little bit of a shit show. Kind of reminded me of Bill's Mafia. I just don't think the Houston Texans are going to get it done, though. I for the first time in a long time, I'm going to say Browns. The spread's 2.5. Over and under is 40.5.
Going Browns myself. David Njoku, been a beast the last 3 games with Flacco. Had 3 receiving touchdowns, over 300 yards receiving. Finally using him. It's great to see. Dude's been kind of a Kyle Pitts situation, not nearly as talented and full potential, in my opinion, but very, very good pass catcher. And
Yes.
having a pretty solid season. He's been due for a while. So, yeah, I would be on a David Njoku anytime touchdown sort of train at this point. Dude's been pretty automatic. He's been Joe Flacco's number one target, and Joe Flacco's always thrown to tight ends. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm gonna go Browns. I don't think Case Keenum and Davis Mills and crew can get it done, especially with missing your top two receivers. And they got a nice win last week, but I don't think they can do it without Stroud again. Just not. They're not built for that.
I'm in full agreement here. Just confirmed as of an hour ago, ESPN reports CJ Stroud will not clear concussion protocol in time for this game. There's your win right there for the Browns. I know it's a road game. I know it's not in their home field, not outdoors. Dog pound's not going to be as barking, and the Browns have honestly struggled on the road this season, 2-4 on the road. But no, I don't see how without CJ Stroud that Houston wins this game. As good as, like I said earlier, as good a job as D'Amico Ryans has done, I'll give him even more flowers next week if he's able to pull this game out.
Yeah.
I don't think he will, though. I don't think Browns favored by 2.5, so I'll take that as well. It's a small enough spread.
Yeah, I think they'll win by 2.5. And the key to victory, which sounds crazy, the reason they won last week is because Devin Singletary had his best game as a Texan.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck having 100-plus yards rushing against that Browns front. Good luck.
Against a defensive player of the year candidate that can rush the passer and stop the run, too.
Yeah, good luck with that. If they can run the football like they did again, then they have a very good chance to win. They do, but they're not going to. No way.
Right. And we got the Lions, Vikings. Very surprised here, fellas. The line here is very close. Spreads 3, over and unders 46.5. It's the fucking Lions all the way. I don't. This is a very important game, seeding wise. They can't drop one to the Vikings. So I'm going Lions. Campbell's gonna fucking drink 6 cups of coffee, put a nice pouch of fucking Levi Garrett in his mouth, and piss lightning. So Lions.
I will say last couple of division games have not gone well for the Lions. They've lost to the Packers and the Bears, and they've alternated wins and losses for these past 4 weeks.
Right.
Which, if the pattern holds, they would be due for a loss this week at the Vikings, which could mean it could be why that spread is so close. That, and of course, it's a division game. All these division games tend to be airtight. Right. That being said, I've been on the Lions train all season. I've been on the Dan Carpenter. Now, wait a second, the Dan Campbell train all season. Lions all the way. They'll find a way to win it. It could be a very weird game. Could be a very weird game for Jared Goff. Could be a weird game. Could be low scoring. I'm just saying, could be low scoring. Lions scored 42 points last week against the Broncos defense that was kind of surging, coming off that emotional high. So I could see a game in the teens or low 20s here, but I think the Lions will pull it out.
I'm going Minnesota. I think Brian Flores is going to have a game plan ready, and I think they're going to upset Detroit. I think what it comes down to for me is Detroit can't stop anybody right now. And if their offense isn't clicking, and they've had some off games, they're in trouble. Their defense has been really bad. I know they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming back. That'll help. I'm glad turning quicker than they anticipated. They thought he was going to miss the rest of the year. Huge get back when he returns and all that stuff. But, I'm going to go Vikings. Nick Mullins is in. They benched Dobbs. But Nick Mullins has played all right. So I'm going to go Vikings in a close one. In the teens, though, like you guys said, low 20s, teens. But I'm going to go Minnesota. And I think that there's a level of complacency right now in Detroit. And I understand they just blew out Denver, who was a surging team. The thing about it for me with Detroit, their seeding to me is about locked up. I think they're the 3 seed, and there's about that's about where they're going to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think San Fran minimum wins 2 more. I think Philly minimum wins 3. They're going to win out. And then the NFC South, I don't think they can catch them or even close. Pretty much Detroit would have to win like one more game just to I think solidify that for sure. I think it's a complacency thing for Detroit right now, and they can't get complacent.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to go Minnesota. That's what I think.
Yeah, I believe it's a win or a Bucks loss would pretty much guarantee Detroit the 3 seed, barring a miracle comeback for the Vikings there.
Yeah. Detroit would have to really get busy and win out, which I don't think they're going to do.
Right.
They'd have to have some help too. So I think they're pretty much complacent. They're in the 3 spot. They're like, not much we can really do. So
they honestly, they might win one of these last 3 games, and then rumors could be floating around. Oh, they're reeling heading into the playoffs. What's going to happen? Because, they got the Vikings this week. Nate, you just picked the Vikings at home against the Lions. Then they go to Dallas. Dallas undefeated at home this season, beating teams out of the breaks at home.
Yeah.
And then Vikings again to finish it out for the Lions.
Right. No, that's an interesting take there. But Jets and Commanders, it's a fucking. I'm sorry that we're even going to waste our breath on this game. Jets are favored. Spreads 3. Over unders 37.5. Fuck me. Jets. Go Jets. That's about it. I'm not touching shit with anything else. I'll go money line Jets. I can't believe I'm saying that either.
I'll make mine short and sweet. Cold, wet game favors the defense. Give me the Jets. 16-10.
Yeah. Do you know who's starting for Washington? Is it Jacoby Brissett or is it Sam Howell? Because Jacoby Brissett was pretty good. Sam Howell, not so much.
Yeah, that is a very good question. I don't believe there is an answer to that yet.
Yeah. So
I don't believe Ron Rivera's announced anything.
Yeah. Very interesting there.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, Nate, we don't know who's starting for the Jets either.
Yeah, that's
Zach Wilson in concussion protocol. Tim Boyle and Britt Ripien would, fill in number 1 and number 2 duties.
Trevor Siemian, actually, he's played.
Or Trevor Siemian, thank you.
Oh fuck, terrible.
So,
it's just a shit game.
I'm gonna go Washington.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Washington. Terrible game. Understand why you are leaning that way, Trevor. Totally get it. But they didn't score a point. They didn't score a point last week. And I think Washington's defense is horrendous, but I don't think they're going to be able to exploit it. So I think Washington will win in a low scoring game. It's going to be ugly though. Don't plan on watching that one.
No.
The Jets, just give the ball to Breece Hall.
Yeah.
That's the key to victory. That's the key.
Please, just give the ball to Breece Hall.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. Move on.
I would dare them to throw it. I would load the box and say, I dare you to throw it.
Right.
If you're Washington,
even with those secondary they have right now, I would dare them to throw. I'd load it and say, come on, prove you can beat us.
Right. Seattle Titans. I think it's going to be a defensive game some reason. It spreads 2.5. Seahawks are favored just a little bit there, very close. If I could just load it up there. Hold on a minute. Over and under is 41.5. God damn it. Another game here, boys.
No, absolutely.
Seattle
Absolutely.
just because they beat the fucking Eagles. That's really the only reason. That's it. I Mike Vrabel, don't think he's at risk of losing his job. It's just kind of just sticking to the 500 record, and that's what they like, and that's what they just continue to do. So I think Pete Carroll is victorious down there in Tennessee.
If I recall correctly, this will be the first season, and guaranteed to be the first season under 500 in Mike Vrabel's head coaching career.
Yeah.
That said, he ain't gonna quit. No way in hell he's gonna quit, and no way in hell Will Levis is gonna quit either.
Right.
Seattle coming off the emotional high. beaten, I believe at the time the number 2 seed, and still the number 2 seed in the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me Titans. Titans at home. I like Will Levis.
Yep. Going Lettuce Bowl as well. Going Will Levis. Think he's going to get it done against Seattle. I hate to say it, but the Eagles played piss poor.
Yes.
And
They were
Tennessee
bad.
and Tennessee barely won. So I'm going to go Tennessee. Think that they're going to get it done, and I think they're going to be very physical. In who knows what's going to happen with the quarterback situation in Seattle, but yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee too.
Okay. Just looking here for this Jaguars game. So Trevor Lawrence is in concussion protocol. I think we already alluded to that earlier. And we got Jaguars against the Buccaneers. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do here. I have no idea. Spread's 1.5, over unders 43.5. For fuck's sake. Oh my God. I can't go with Baker Mayfield. Because when he was in all those commercials, I wanted to blow my head off. I'm going to go. Oh, shit. Fuck it. I'll go Bucs. I don't know why. I'm going to go Bucs. It's very, very interesting there, but yeah.
I'm going with the narrative of chaos in the NFC South. 3, 7, and 8 teams coming out of this week. Jaguars. They're 5-1 on the road. I think they stay hot. And I think ETN has a pretty big game too. Buccaneers don't have that good a rush defense. So if you have ETN this week, play him. Just do it. Don't question it.
Yep.
Jaguars go to 6-1 on the road.
Yep. I'm in agreement, Trevor. I think the Jaguars get it done. They got to win. Because if they lose, the Colts tie them up.
Yeah.
Their lead isn't safe, So I'm going Jags. They got to get it done. And the Buccaneers are coming off such a high. Go to Lambeau and beat the crap out of the Packers. Jaguars, they need this one. And I think that, the Buccaneers, they're going to hang around with Atlanta, and they're going to hang around with
New
Orleans as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jags also.
And then we got the Cardinals against the Bears here. Spread's 4.5, over unders 44.5. Bears are favorited. Go Bears. I'll go Bears on that. I don't really have a reason.
I don't have a reason either. I'll just rip off the Band-Aid and say Bears as well.
It's at Soldier Field.
Give me the Bears, yeah. Give me the home team.
Yeah. I'm going to go Bears also. Arizona not very good, so I'm going to go Bears. They've been playing really good football lately, the Bears have. They've had a good month. So I'm going to go Bears.
Yes, they have. Yes.
And I think probably the best game of the week here, boys. Cowboys, Dolphins. Dolphins are favored slightly. God damn, the spread's 1.5. Over unders 51. Fuck, I don't know who the hell to go with here. But Dolphins. For some reason, Dolphins. I don't know. What do you boys think?
I'll go first. Take the Cowboys. Dolphins can't beat good teams.
Okay.
They are over in games against teams over 500.
Okay.
Prove to me that you can win big games, and then I'll believe that you can do something in the playoffs. And then I'll believe that you can beat the Dallas Cowboys. But for now, I don't believe that.
Okay.
Cowboys, much as I hate to say it.
Yep. Right. Cowboys gotta have this game. I think the Bills winning, Dolphins losing, tightens that race up a little bit, would be very interesting. Cowboys, Eagles, staying, in contention for the NFC East would also be interesting. Yeah, I'm going Cowboys too. I'm with you. Dolphins don't rise to the occasion. So yeah, I'm going to go Cowboys.
Is Tyreek Hill back?
Most likely, but not guaranteed.
Okay. Even with that, I'll say Cowboys, but that'll make a difference in terms of the spread and how close it is.
Spread, definitely. But yeah, him being back plays into Dallas's defensive strength. I'm going to say
That is
there
true. That's true.
be some points scored. That's my prediction. Pretty high score.
The highest over under this week at 51.5. I might go over that. I'm being
Yes.
totally honest. Sunny and 76.
Yep.
Miami.
Right. Then we got Broncos, Patriots. Jesus. Spread 7. And then over under 34.5. Jesus Christ. The Broncos, it's going to be a shit game. I take the spread at 7. This game's giving me a feel of like a fucking 28-6, 9, some weird score for some reason. Just, I think Bill's just going to try to get the hell out of the stadium and maybe hit up some smoke shops while they're out there in Denver. But that's about it. And Broncos, yeah, it's just a disaster.
Yeah, I'm not picking the Patriots.
No.
To hell with that.
Yeah.
Especially this year's Patriots. And is who's starting at quarterback? Is it Zappy still?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Bailey Zappy.
And his stock has completely went up.
I'm fully aware. But I don't know. I tell you what, I'm not going to be waiting all day for Sunday night on this one. As much as I love Carrie Underwood and her pregame performance, I will watch the pregame just for that reason.
Right.
And then I'll probably shut this game off and play some Madden afterward.
Very nice.
No, of course. Broncos.
Yep. Mile high, man. Tough place to play. I'm going Broncos.
Yep. And to enjoy your Christmas Day, I don't think you would want to see anything else than Taylor Swift hugging some random guy, Brittany Mahomes and her, just, oh my God, Travis Patrick, we love you. That's what I want to see at 1:00 when I'm trying to celebrate baby Jesus's birthday. That I want to see these two clowns. So yeah, I'm gonna go Kansas City here. Spreads 10. It looks like a trap game for the Chiefs, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to be able to fend off the Raiders. Take the spread at there, 10.5 or 10, and then over unders 41.5. I don't know if I would be touching that. I just feel like it'd be over a little bit in that regard, but Kansas City all the way, without question.
Yeah, I'll go Kansas City as well, but they have a propensity to keep games close this season, so I could easily see that spread being covered by the Raiders. Raiders, they're not going to score 63 again. Hate to break it to any Raider fans out there. Sorry, Portland. But Raiders, Patrick Mahomes, his record, I believe he has 2 losses against the Raiders in his career, something along those, to maybe 2 or 3 losses in his career against the Raiders. I say Raiders cover the 10, but Chiefs win a big game in a way that they've kind of been winning these games lately with defense and running the ball.
Right.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm in agreement. Going Chiefs. I think Raiders cover the spread, but the Chiefs will find a way. I think for sure. Big game for them. They got to try to keep pace with Baltimore and Miami. So I think they're going to get it. And Merry Christmas to all NFL fans. We're going to get to see plenty of Taylor and Travis and company. So yippee. Merry Christmas.
And I just want to say, Taylor, I appreciate you going to these games, and I don't know if you boys saw this, but I have to say it because everybody's so excited to see her at these games. Oh, she's there for Travis. She's supporting him. Roger's just oozing out of his pants because she's at the games. But here's a sad statistic. So 138 tons of CO2 emission in 2 months because of her jet planes, travels 12,000 miles. They would have to plant 2,283 trees to overcome the damage she did to the ozone. Okay. I just want to make it clear to you. Taylor, find some area you could plant those trees because I'll tell you right now, the activists are pissed. Just want to throw that out there for you folks. Any comment on that?
DB, I never took you for a climate activist. Look at
No,
you.
no, I saw that and I laughed my ass off. I laughed so hard today.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. I will say this about Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie, but I do like her music.
Right.
I do like her music. She also kind of uses a lot of pyro at her shows, uses a lot of electricity and power that could be used elsewhere.
Right.
But
The
it's
power
okay.
of the city.
It's not her fault that the NFL is just absolutely milking this cow, bringing all the Swifties in. More Swifties means more crazed fans means more money. So
Just had to throw
all good by me. Taylor's good by me. The NFL, another story.
All right. I just had to throw that out there because I kind of pissed myself when I saw it.
No,
Someone took time to do that math.
that DB bringing up a climate statistic was not on my bingo card for this evening's podcast. I'll just say that much.
Nope. Didn't have that on the agenda, I didn't think.
No. But the New York Giants and the Eagles. Listen, I love Tommy DeVito. I just got to say to Tommy, too, he's not safe in this regard either. Looked like a local deli restaurant, Italian-owned. Maybe the mob was involved. I don't know what's going on there. They agreed on a $10,000 appearance fee. I don't know if you boys saw this. Then
And it was 20. They didn't come.
Little his agent, green suit guy. That's what I call him. I don't know his actual name.
That suit, that jacket is from the Italian Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Mucho bene to that guy.
But he steps in. He goes, "Hey, no, we ain't fucking taking that money. Okay, we're bumping that 20,000." And now that deli's fucked off. So, Tommy, you're not getting no fucking cannolis. That ain't happening. But anyways, taking the Eagles, spreads 11.5. They're favorited by a shit ton. Over unders 42.5. I don't know about the point total there, boys, but I'm okay with everything else.
I think that Seattle game's lighting a fire under Philadelphia. I think they cover that spread, and I think they win that game handily. Jalen Hurts scores 3 touchdowns in this game, whether passing or rushing.
Okay, fair enough.
Cheesesteaks and cream cheese for everybody. Philadelphia, crushing defeat of the New York Football Giants that play in New Jersey. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles.
Fair enough.
Oh, Nader, those cheesesteaks you sent in the group chat a little bit ago.
Oh, I didn't send them, but I wish I would.
Oh, whoever sent them.
Yeah. Chicken cutlets come to die. The Philly cheesesteak comes superior this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Right. And then I think also another blockbuster game here, 49ers against the Ravens. Nate alluded to it. Could be a Super Bowl preview. Spreads 5.5. I don't know.
I don't like that.
No, that's
I don't like that.
49ers are favored. Over unders 46.5. I just see this as a ground and pound, hard hitting matchup here, boys. I don't see a lot of scoring for some reason. You might disagree on that, but I do have 49ers winning because I'm never going to have money line rat birds. Will not do it.
I totally understand what you're saying there, Drew, but no,
I've been fiery at the end of the episode. That's what's fucked up.
No, I know. That's all good. Yeah, I'm not picking against the Niners right now. They've won 6 straight, all in pretty convincing fashion. They're at home in a big game late in the season. This is what Kyle Shanahan does.
Right.
This is what Kyle Shanahan does. And the Ravens, don't get me wrong, they're going to be pretty much at full strength minus a couple of running backs. But like you said, Nate, that might not matter. They might as well just be at full strength anyway because they are that damn good at running the football. But you know who's pretty good at stopping the run? The Niners. They're going to force Lamar Jackson to throw the ball. Can he do it this year? Yeah, he's got pretty decent statistics, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, over 3,100 yards. He's on pace for his highest passing total of his career.
Right.
if the Baltimore Ratbirds are going to win this game, they're going to have to do it throwing the ball. I don't see that happening. Give me the Niners.
San Fran strikes gold again, 18-49. 49ers. Going San Fran.
Amen.
Going to be a sorry trip back to sorry ass Baltimore for Edgar Allan Poe and those Baltimore Ravens.
Right. Loved it.
49ers are playing good football right now. Going San Fran.
Too good.
Amen. Amen. But that's all I had, folks. Whoever wants to take over here, you go ahead and.
Yeah. We haven't touched on NBA too much.
Very good. Yep.
So far this season, I'm going to touch on it right now. So last night, the Detroit Pistons lost their 24th straight game. And in that span, and I guess this is before last night, they've allowed nearly 3,000 points, about 120 per game, and they allowed 120 to the Hawks last night. That's their most points per game allowed since 1968 and 69. Bear in mind, that's when my father was born.
Wow.
Long time ago. And actually, this is over the season. On a points per game basis, the Pistons are at a negative 12.1 differential before the game last night.
Oh.
This is worst in the league, and it's surprisingly not by far. I believe the Spurs are within a point.
Yeah, they only have 3 wins, and the Pistons have 2.
Correct. Yes, correct. The only other team averaging negative double digits, like we just alluded to, Nate and I, the Spurs, I believe they're at negative 11 point something, if I recall correctly. But so I compiled a list here. Oh, I did want to mention one little fact here. The Pistons set the franchise record for consecutive losses at 22. And you want to know which team helped them set that? Your own Philadelphia 76ers. In a 124-92 game, I believe it was last Thursday, or no, excuse me, that was on December 15th, so 4 days ago.
You're a freaking
last Friday.
Wow.
I know, I'm a fiend. And since then, of course, they've lost their last 2 games to make it 24. So Pistons' last win was on October 28th. I've compiled a list of events here that have happened since October 28th, since the Pistons' last win. Starting out in a bit of unfortunate pop culture, beloved actor from Friends, Matthew Perry, passed away the same day that this streak began. Post Malone announced at the CMAs he's going to do a country album. Can't wait for that as a country fan and a big Post Malone fan. Nate, I know you're excited for that too. I want to see it happen.
Heck yeah.
Kind of moving out of pop culture, the Texas Rangers won a game in November. Something the Pistons did not do.
Wow.
The Texas Rangers won Game 7 in November. Joe Flacco threw more touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. Oh, yeah. I brought up Joe Flacco again in this episode. Here you go. And for you wrestling fans out there, after a near decade's absence, Mr. Chick Magnet Punk returned to the WWE, something that I never thought would happen. Hell has frozen over. Anybody can come back to that company.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Timothy Boyle, who has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in college and in the NFL, started multiple NFL games.
Oh, boy.
It was week 10 on October 28th for college football. We are in the thick of bowl season. The following coaches / coordinators have been fired since the Pistons' last win. And excuse me if I'm missing any. Josh McDaniels and the Raiders GM, Brandon Staley and the Chargers GM, Mr. Matthew Canada. And lest we forget Mr. Frank Reich.
And Ken Dorsey from Buffalo.
And Ken Dorsey, thank you very much. Hosting for the Buffalo Bills. Jimbo Fisher
got fired and is going to make more money not coaching the Aggies than he did coaching the Aggies. And a little touch to hockey here. Alex Ovechkin has gone on a 13-game goalless streak, the longest of his career.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He's on pace for 15 goals. He has never been below 20 in his long and storied career. Still only second behind Wayne Gretzky in terms of all-time goals in the NHL. Draymond Green punched another player and got suspended indefinitely. I'm hearing now that he's going to counseling, and he will be back in maybe 3 weeks at the earliest.
Middle of January.
Middle of January, yes.
Boy, Jesus.
And actually, that's it. That's all I had.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit, though.
Oh, and I did want to touch on this too. Congratulations to Lakers fans. We got 2 of them right here. Y'all won the in-season tournament. Y'all raised the banner. That's awesome.
I don't want the banner in there. I don't want it there.
You don't want it?
Who cares? It's December. You win banners in June.
Nate, you sound like Peter Griffin. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, when they
You're
put
raising
that,
a banner. It's the first banner of its kind.
They're like 15-10.
Jesus.
The damn.
LeBron was making a big deal because he was MVP. I'll tell you right now, they put that banner in the rafters. Kobe's going to work, turn over in his grave. I mean, that's bullshit.
It's already up there.
Oh,
Balls. Who cares? You
didn't wait.
You don't play to win games in December. Yeah, you win. You try to win every game you play.
Oh yes.
Come on.
Yes.
And I'm excited for some of those guys that don't make the most money in the NBA to make a little bit more. Good for them. But come on, man. This is silly.
Oh yes.
Look, think how stupid it's going to be if they raise that and then they miss the playoffs, which they could do. I don't think they will, but they could do that.
They could.
They're one injury away to LeBron or Anthony Davis of being almost cooked.
Anthony Davis is still healthy.
Yeah, 25 games in. I'm just like,
Yeah.
How?
Apply a little heat to him, he'll melt.
Yeah.
Did the extra roll of duct tape around his body and more Elmer's and Gorilla Glue this year, apparently.
Trevor, you ever see the movie Bubble Boy? You ever hear of that?
I've not. No.
You watch it, because that's what we need to do with Anthony Davis for him to stay on the good court.
Bubble. All right.
Put him in a freaking hand.
Is it on anything, Drew? Any of the streaming?
I'll send it to you. If anybody's
Okay.
out there, they're probably laughing their ass off. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. I'll send it.
I might have to give that a watch while I'm not busy at work tomorrow. That'll be fun. Of course, I had to prop my Sixers up. I'm going to bring them down a peg a little bit. The Sixers still own the record for most consecutive losses in the season. Of course, they did that during the process. In the 2013-2014 season, they share the record at 26 with the 2010-2011 Cavs. But, of course, Pistons only 2 losses behind those respective teams as we speak. That's all I had to touch on basketball. Starting out on a sad/hilarious note for our coverage of the NBA this season. Well, I'll definitely start to care more now about NBA, NHL, anything other than the NFL, just because of Steelers. So expect more NBA and potentially NHL going forward on this podcast, because I don't want to talk about the Steelers anymore.
Yeah. No, I have nothing else. Nate?
Oh, good. Great.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just. Quick. Sorry. You're good.
One more note on the Lakers. They're rumored to go after Levine. Does that happen?
Oh shit, we did talk.
No.
I would love to see it.
No.
I don't think they'll do much. They're gonna move bench players and stuff. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I believe it's going to be him and Jordan Clarkson that are going to be the primary trade candidates for this cycle.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan's probably in there as well.
Yes.
PJ Tucker will probably be a trade candidate as well. So, yeah, I think that those are some of the guys. PJ Tucker, dude didn't score a point for like 11 games in a row. And the Clippers were still winning without him. The Clippers are the hottest team in the NBA right now. So,
That's driving me insane
yeah, not a
for
fan.
obvious reasons.
Not, yeah. Many.
Yeah, I've didn't think I would have multiple reasons to want to stick my finger down my throat and throw up, but now I have them.
Yep.
Jesus. Well, no, it's a pleasure, boys. It was another great episode here. It will be a lot of twists and turns during this one. But no, I tried to keep the language to a minimum. It short circuit, and I went off the rails a little bit, but that's all right. Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, here me and the boys will talk here. Hopefully, next Tuesday we'll be back. I hope everybody has a good Christmas out there. Hope Santa brings all your wish list gifts and presents, and hope everybody enjoys time with family and friends, and have a couple strong ones. That's never a bad thing. Just don't take out the Christmas tree or open presents too early, because
Throw a little something in the eggnog now. You know what I'm saying? A little something.
Right. But make it extra strong. It's always a little stressful and amusing during the holidays. So make it a little eventful with some Jack Daniels and Coke. But anyways, have a good night. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. All gas, no breaks, and we'll be back next Tuesday at 8:00. We appreciate all you, and boys, appreciate you too. Have a good Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Christmas.